Welcome into Pitchfork Lunch, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. I am Michael Carasino. Yes, at Diablos, 00 is where you can follow me on Twitter. And again, hit me up, messages, questions, all that good stuff. Man, I am all for it. It was a exciting weekend, excruciating weekend in Sun Devil Nation. Volleyball at the Lumberjack Classic, soccer at the Arizona Classic, both women's sports, and football. Yes, the Saturday night blackout, they took on Oklahoma State. And man, I tell you, it was a heavyweight fight in a way. I think the Devils came out with a good game plan, and it went back and forth, and they just came out on the other side. Oklahoma State stayed with it, was able to make plays when they had to, and it was an interesting game, and we'll get to that. Women's soccer in the playing in Tucson in the Arizona Classic, they played Utah State on Thursday, and then they played Texas Tech yesterday morning at 9 a.m. So they were up and at 'em early. But again, they weren't no slowness to start the game, but they dropped their first regular season non-conference game since 2021. 16 non-conference games without a loss. They were 11-0-5 going into this and going into the Texas Tech match. And they beat Utah State 1-0. They lose to Texas Tech 1-0. We'll get to that, give you the highlights of the match and all that good stuff. We had Coach JJ Van Niel on, the women's volleyball coach, first year women's head coach here at Arizona State, last Thursday on game day when they were taking on the Lumberjacks. And it was another very successful weekend for the Lady Devils up in Flagstaff. So they didn't have to jump on a plane, like you said, and go too far. They will be jumping on a plane this weekend though, as they're in the Beale Street Classic. Of course, Beale Street hosted by Memphis. So nonetheless, they will be there. I got to see if I wonder if my guy Jim will be able to get out to that. Maybe he could take some videos for us if he gets out to it. But I don't even know that yet. But we'll talk about that. A very successful weekend for ASU volleyball again. And man, each match again, Coach talked about it. The comfort, the chemistry, what they want to get accomplished. I mean, they're just building and building in that first matchup. Conference matchup right around the corner Thursday, September 21st. That team from down south comes up, and they're having a pretty good season themselves. So, Sun Devil Nation, put it in your calendar. I'm going to remind you every day that we're on here at Pitchfork Lunch to put that in your calendar. But again, so glad you're joining us live here on Pitchfork Lunch. You can check me out live on my YouTube. Just search Michael Carcino, but my YouTube is at MVC, M as in Michael, V as in Victor, C as in Caratinudo, 005. So again, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You see the slide there. See it live on Twitter at Diablo00, also live on Facebook. But the cool thing too is we are live on KSRN, the Casual Sports Radio Network. And if you're out and about and you know this is coming on every day at 12 o'clock from 12 to 1 is when we do Pitchfork Lunch, you can download the KSRN app, ksrnsports.com, and that's sports with a Z. Casualsports.com, KAZUALSPORTZ.com. Yes. KAZUALSPORTZ.com. And when you go there right up top where it says home, listen, live coverage, you can download the mobile app. So again, check me out live on KSRN as well. But you can watch, like I said, all the avenues. We're bringing to you, again, the full array. We got you. I got you covered. So Sun Devil Nation, get on board and let's go with it. But yes, casualsports.com, KAZUALSPORTZ.com. And again, you can download the app. Boom. Listen to the, take me with you anywhere you go. So you're not missing out. You'll be able to listen to it. And again, a lot of the great programming that Earl has over there, and you don't want to miss out. So again, a local flavor, but yes, Pitchfork Lunch. We are absolutely rolling. But yeah, like I said, soccer in the Arizona Classic went 1-1. They return home this Friday at 7 p.m. to take on Colorado College. And then they have, a week off. And then September 22nd, that Friday, at 7 p.m., they are also taking on Oregon State. So they are home for a little bit. So get out to the Sun Devil soccer/lacrosse stadium and support the women's soccer team against Colorado College. And like I said, then they start conference play September 22nd. So again, home against Oregon State. And then the 28th and October 1st, they hit the road. They are at Stanford and at Cal. But then they come home for the Washington schools. October 5th, they're home for Washington, and October 8th is Washington State. And I'll remind you of all this later. But And then October 13th, they're at Oregon. And then October 19th, they're home for USC. And then the 22nd, they're home for UCLA. And then the 26th of October, they're at Utah. And then the 29th, they're at Colorado. And then November 3rd, Friday, November 3rd, 7 p.m. Well, Sun Devil Nation, we're going to take big numbers and we're going to go down south and cheer them on for a win as they wrap up conference play at Arizona on Friday, November 3rd. So just a little heads up going forward, but that's where they are at. And this is a team that is now 4-1-3. Head coach Graham Winkworth, again, a young team, but look, they are coming together, and they again, to drop their first loss since the 2021 season. Non-conference, well, not their first loss, their first non-conference loss, pardon me. And I mean, it happened late too, because it was in the second half. They scored Texas Tech, the Red Raiders. They scored on a set piece in the 73rd minute. Macy Blackburn for the Red Raiders took a corner, delivered a beautiful pass to Hannah Anderson, and Anderson was able to head it into the back of the net in the 73rd minute. So, again, both teams had a few opportunities in the first half. And the second half, ASU did have had chances as well. And then both teams, again, had their chances. And, again, they're playing well. Defensively, I mean, this is a very sound team. And from playing and having a young team, I mean, that's one side. Yes, do you want to see the goals go in? Do you want more opportunities in dictating the pace of play, advancement, especially through the midfield? Yes, and yes. But playing defense, I mean, holding teams to, shots on set pieces and being able to clear the ball out. And yes, being very having a solid goalkeeper, as the Devils do in Pauline Nels. Man, it's just that is encouraging. I mean, yes, you do want to turn your defense and able to stop and, get the ball out, not give too many shots on goal. Although Texas Tech did outshoot ASU 12-5 and shots on goal. Texas Tech, it was 6-2. So, but I mean, 5 saves again for Nels. Both teams had 4 corners, and a relatively clean game. 2 fouls on Tech committed by Texas Tech, 3 on ASU. So, and they're playing I like how coach has them playing. I mean, it is physical, but you can be physical and not dirty, and that's the point in soccer. But, yeah, I mean, defensively, having seen this team, it's just going to get better. But yes, offensively now you got to start to put the love to say that from the great Tommy Smith, soccer analyst, but I got to put the ball in the back of the old onion bag. And offensively for ASU, again, it's got to come, but you also have to stop it and frustrate teams and then give yourself those opportunities. So, yes, but for Coach Winkworth, look, it's one of those things where you can see it coming. You can see with this group. And yeah, I mean, in any sport, you go on a cold streak, it's tough. You go on a you start, scoring goals, and it's like it just takes, one to go in, or if you're related to maybe basketball or baseball, when you're in a total hitting slump or shooting slump, you just got to see that first ball drop down in the outfield, or just hit a free throw, see that ball go through the hoop, or you hit a layup, just something like that. And again, with this team, tough comp. They're going to have tough competition as they get into conference play, of course. But just that first goal again to get those to get the wheels greased and get them rolling. So, but if they can play, they're going to frustrate a lot of teams, and they're going to stay in a lot of games. And in playing that way, when teams do play that way, especially in soccer, when you look at it, if they start to push more numbers up, that opens up your counterattack, and that will open up. Again, you still have to play defense. Can't get, relaxed, assume that, they're just going to, if they come up, we can just take the counter back. You don't want another team just, berating your goalie with shots. But defensively, you frustrate teams enough, and, within their formation, maybe they switch up a little bit and they come forward, bring some people up a little more, try and, get that goal. And, there you are on the counterattack with numbers. And it's a beautiful way to score goals. But it's also, if you can control the ball, control the tempo and the pace, keep the ball in their end of the field, work it around and get goals that way. But yes, defense frustrating people will do a lot. So I am excited to see, again, their first conference loss since 2021. They were 11-0-5. Texas Tech got them 1-0. And Texas Tech, by the way, on the season, they are 6-0-2. So they haven't dropped a match yet this early in this season, have the Red Raiders. So once again, it's it's a schedule where you're playing obviously a very good teams, and Texas Tech gets a goal in the 73rd minute. But a lot of, I think, just very, very encouraging. And I mean, I think great things to come from this team that Coach Graham Winkworth has. And get out there again, Sun Devil Soccer Stadium, and it's right by, it's in the shadow of Farrington Stadium where the softball team plays. So get out there, support this team. They are very exciting, and again, it's it'll be worth it. But like I said, they have Colorado College coming up this Friday at home, and then next Friday Oregon State starts Pac-12 conference play. And we'll see, can this team get another bid to the tournament? A lot of minutes and games left to be played, yes, but they definitely have the team that I believe can do it, even after the losses they had last year. We're going to step aside. When I get back, we'll talk about women's volleyball and football and the success that women's volleyball had up in Flagstaff, and what the game looked like on Saturday for football. But we'll step aside real quick and have, again, a lot more coming up here on Pitchfork Lunch. Again, hit me up on Twitter at Diablos00. And again, we can have some fun with this. right, back here on Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Caracino at Diablo00 is where you can find me. And man, again, don't forget, you can check me out live on KSRN, the Casual Sports Radio Network. You can download the app. You can listen to me anywhere. And if you got to run, can't watch, you can still listen, get everything, all the interviews we're going to have, everything. Go to casualsports.com. That's KAZUAL, sports with a Z, SPORTZ.com. Once you go there up top, you'll see where it says home. Look over to the right a little bit. It'll say download the app. So download the mobile app. And guess what? 12 to 1 every day. You will hear Pitchfork Lunch. We will be celebrating Sun Devil Nation. Yes, I know I said in the beginning last week on the first episode, not everything is all rainbows and unicorns. Understood. And yes, if there are challenging things, not going to ignore it. You can't ignore an elephant in a room, but again, don't need to harp on it, need to address it. But yes, we are going to talk, obviously, everything, football, men's and women's basketball, obviously women's soccer, women's volleyball, golf, which has had such a phenomenal tradition at Arizona State, baseball, softball, triathlon. I mean, just everything you can think of. And it's ice hockey. How can I forget ice hockey? Swimming and diving, tennis, men's and women's tennis, track and field, wrestling. Again, Zeke Jones, who's an alum, back coaching the wrestling team. And since they've been back, and yes, Sun Devil Nation, you know what I'm talking about. They have done very well. And now, again, working on getting coaches on. I mean, swimming and diving, I talked about it last week with Coach Bowman. Beach volleyball, again, cross country, track, gymnastics, lacrosse, women's lacrosse. We are going to embody everything. That's why it's called Pitchfork Lunch. So, each day, again, can't give it to you all of that in every show because, I mean, let's be honest, then there would be a little bit of food coma, and I definitely don't want that. But yes, it'll be here. But yes, go to KSRN, casualsports.com, and download the app. Listen to it live every day. If you got to run out and about, you're not able to watch, you'll be able to hear the interviews, everything. So we are definitely rocking. But let's talk women's volleyball because, look, we had JJ Van Niel on, and look, it's the pardon me, sorry. It is the I guess we could say the positive vibe, the mojo from Pitchfork Lunch. But we had JJ Van Niel on Thursday before the team took on NAU. And he, again, talked about it. We had some fun. Yeah, we talked about the team. Didn't get crazy into X's and O's. Just his background. Obviously, he played club ice hockey. And we talked about that with Coach Powers. And again, I wasn't kidding. If you missed the interview, don't worry. Got you covered. Because everything is archived. And again, if you go to the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, you can Michael Caracino, but it's M V as in Victor C005 on YouTube. And again, you can go back and watch that interview with Coach Van Niel. Watch the show. It's all there. But just again, his excuse me, his obviously passion for the sport, where he's coached again, and like I said, playing a little ice hockey against Coach Powers. So, and he said, so we're gonna have to ask Coach Powers about that. Said, he hardly doesn't skate anymore, but I don't know. I think it'd be fun to see him and Coach Van. Again, hockey's not a one-on-one sport, but get him out there on the ice, both on the ice, and obviously after his season, he's got a little bit to focus on with the volleyball team. But nonetheless, I digress to they went up to the Lumberjack Classic, and as you can see there, they were 3-0 again and did not drop a set. Won all matches 3-0. And again, just beat Northern Arizona on Thursday, and then beat Boise State on Friday, and then Saturday took on Stephen F. Austin and beat them as well. So they go 3-0. They are 9-0 overall. And just to recap their season so far, they started off at the Florida Gulf Coast Invitational, the FGCU Invitational in Fort Myers. And they took on Florida Gulf Coast, won, St. John's won, and Ole Miss won. All didn't drop a set there. All of them were 3-0. Then they did the Borderland Invitational, co-hosted by UTEP and New Mexico State. They took on UTEP Friday and beat them 3-1. Then they beat San Francisco in the same score and New Mexico State 3-1. Then after that, like I said, this last weekend was the Lumberjack Classic, and that NAU, Boise State, Stephen F. Austin, all 3-0. This is a team that has only dropped 3 sets all season in 9 matches. So look, they are fun to watch. They're coming together. We'll see how they look next week. Next weekend, like I said, Beale Street Challenge in Memphis will take on Memphis Thursday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So for locals here in Arizona, 11 a.m. And then Friday they play at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They'll be taking on the Little Rock Trojans. And then Saturday, they'll play the Golden Eagles of Southern Miss. Patatas. Well, again, it's 11 a.m. there, but 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, they play that game Saturday. And then after that, they will head back home, and then finally get to stay home for their first home matches. And the first home match Thursday, like I said, September 21st, but they're going to be doing it at Mullet Arena, not at Desert Financial. But yes, there are games that'll be at Desert Financial this year. Don't worry. But yeah, the atmosphere at Mullet Arena, they're going to be playing Arizona, Sun Devil Nation. Before we start reviewing this, let's get loud. Let's get out there and let's get loud. Because after all this time being road warriors, and yes, having to get on a few planes, and again, doing it this coming weekend too. But man, it's a team that's focused. They're coming together. I mean, that's one thing, and I talked about that, and, every sport's different, but just, Coach Van Neal saying didn't have a schedule, how to make a schedule, how to, see if players were going to enter the transfer portal, what players he could bring in. I talked about it last week before he came on. Yes, there are players that returned. He hit the transfer portal. There's a few that left in the transfer portal, and he also had to make a schedule. So tough getting teams to come here for a weekend. It was just with having their schedules already made. And it's but going forward, Sun Devil Nation, I'm confident in that next season, although we're way focused on this season. But like I said, next season and going forward, there'll be at least one weekend or, maybe 2 weekends here of non-conference play. And we'll see what teams come in. So yeah, but the way he has them playing, again, absolutely awesome to go play anywhere and not drop a set, but go 3-0, no dropping sets. It is not a terrible thing. Let's just look at it like that. And then I mean, you look at the box score, against NAU, it was 25-11, 25-10, and 25-13, all in favor of the Sun Devils. I mean, they averaged 14 and a half kills per set. And I mean, had 6 aces throughout, 37 assists, 47 digs. So you love seeing that. Again, defense leading to offense. And yes, being a person that loves defense in all sports, but when you see it in volleyball, and just again, I always call it like when you have 6 people on the court like that, and I mean, again, volleyball is just, especially at the highest levels, but it is literally a perfect choreographed dance with 6 people, because yes, if someone digs a kill or a ball gets a kill and the block is up and it skips off the block and somebody has to run it down. So now, again, you have to have somebody back them up. You're getting obviously a little bit out of system. Somebody makes a play, and just to get it back up over the net. No, you don't want to give a team a free ball, as they say, but at the same time, get it over the net. Live to fight in the rally. But yeah, 47 digs to NAU's 32 throughout the match, that first match. Again, Marta Levinska led the team with 12 kills, also led the team with 3 aces. Shannon Shields, 28 assists, again as a setter. And Shields also led the team in digs with 13. Mary Schroll, again, both local kids. That came back as a grad student. So Schroll from LMU, Shields again from Louisville. Shields went to Xavier, Schroll at Corona. But yeah, I mean, just an overall, you look at the match, and and that's one thing again. And they've played obviously a lot of matches since then. And you've heard me reference the maroon and gold scrimmage that they had at Mullet Arena. But you could just see, I mean, the practice going in and coach, mixing up his lineup, seeing what he had with certain players, playing in situations, what the score was. And yeah, I mean, I think that the Maroon took it 3-1, but nonetheless, I mean, mixing up the lineup and seeing where they are, and man, you can just, I could see it then, but it's a team that nonetheless, I mean, was starting to get, comfortable in trusting where their teammate is on the court, where they should be on the court. And now fast forward to 9-0, 3-0 again this weekend, not dropping a set. And it's just, when you feel like you're getting to every ball, and that's another thing too, especially with the digs. I mean, whether it's from the libero or, whoever in the back row, but it's when you see a team, in my eyes, and even in talking, it has a libero that is literally getting to everything, and then the other team feels they literally have to hit the perfect shot every time, like on a kill, you have to wind up and literally put it in the perfect spot. That's when other teams, you start to force hitting errors. And, I've always used the adage, they feel like there's, 7 players on the court, because literally nothing's dropping and a team's getting to everything. And yes, they always can't, because if you've been to volleyball and you've seen, again, even if with the block challenging, a lot of these, whether it's the middle's going up, the outside, the opposite going up, just absolutely armpitting the net, swinging down. Yes, there are times that it's going to come straight down, but if a team's getting to stuff, their block's slowing you down, and even though you have big hits to the back row, it is getting dug and returned. It just, to me, when you see it, starts to think, okay, oh well, I'm going to hit it like this, or even if they say hit it down the line, okay, I have to turn maybe a teeny bit like this, and they open up a little too much, and the ball's just out. So again, a team with great defense and that's getting to everything, and not just getting to it and sending it over, giving the team a free ball. And again, just you give teams at this level multiple opportunities to easily get kills, then yes, you are going to have a very long match. So that's the other side of it. But yeah, I mean, for Coach Van Niel and this team, and again, I can't wait to talk to some of these players after they quit being road warriors. And maybe, don't want to promise, but maybe we can get one on Wednesday. Oh, wait, no, maybe not. Well, I'll find out, because if they're traveling I'm guessing they'll be traveling on Wednesday, so that might not work. But maybe tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. We'll see. We'll effort and see if we can get one of the players on, because yes, I would love to do that, and it would be very, very cool. But yeah, I mean, look, 9-0. That's all I have to say. You play who's in front of you. You put a schedule the other late, and I'm not saying you play who's in front of you to make an excuse saying it's not a tough schedule, or it's not a good schedule, because when you go across the country, you play Florida, Gulf Coast. Who is their volleyball team right now is 5-4. All right. I mean, they beat St. John's, lost to Arizona State. They beat Ole Miss in 5. So that's who was, at their tournament. So they're 5-4 right now. St. John's right now, they are 7-2 overall. They beat Ole Miss, and in 4 that weekend, they beat Florida Gulf Coast in 5. They obviously lost to ASU 3-0. They beat Utah Tech. They lost to New Mexico. They beat CSU Bakersfield. They beat Siena, Stony Brook, Loyola of Maryland, and then they have Arkansas coming up this Friday. So, I mean, it's and then for Ole Miss, who they beat, the Lady Rebels are 5-3 overall right now. And I mean, that's with so they took those 3 losses, because Ole Miss dropped all 3 matches against St. John's, Florida Gulf Coast, and ASU. But then they turned around and won 5 in a row. They beat Lipscomb. They beat Tennessee State, Alcorn State, South Dakota State, and Tennessee Tech. But now they have a common opponent. They have Tulsa coming up, and the Stephen F. Austin. So they're going to have quite a few common opponents with Arizona State. They're going to have Tulsa and Stephen F. Austin. They also play Sam Houston State. So, I mean, 5-3 overall when you look at it from that standpoint. And then playing UTEP, San Francisco, and New Mexico State. I mean, New Mexico State right now is I want to say 6-2. Sorry, I was going to say 7-2. They are 6-2 right now, and their only losses are to UC Santa Barbara. They lost 7-3, and ASU. I mean, they've beaten UC Santa Barbara, North Florida, and Denver. They beat San Francisco, lost to ASU, then they beat Illinois State, Miami of Ohio, and then St. Louis University. So they got a match. They got the Wildcat Classic coming up this weekend as they're headed to Tucson. The Aggies of New Mexico State. So they'll take on Alabama State, Arizona, and Long Beach State. I know people think Long Beach State, they think beach, but yeah. So I mean, they're 6-2. And then let's see, San Francisco is 5-3 or 3-6. Sorry, I was gonna say 6-3. I had it written down backwards. They're 3-6. So again, struggling a little bit, but they've played Seton Hall, New Mexico, UC Irvine, UTEP, New Mexico State, Arizona State, Santa Barbara, Tennessee State, and Utah. So, and they just got done playing in the Utah Classic. So, yeah, it's So yeah, they're 3-6, and then UTEP. Just to wrap that up, the Miners, they are 6-2 right now. I mean, in the Southeastern Showdown, they beat UW in 5 sets. And then they beat Grambling in 3, and then Southeastern Louisiana in 4. They beat San Francisco in 4, lost to Arizona State in 4 there. And then they beat Ohio in 5, and then beat William and Mary, and then lost to NC State. It's got a good team in 4. So, pardon me. And then Tulane, they'll be in the Tulane Invitational this weekend, where they have Tulane, Houston Christian, and Clemson. So, and again, ASU playing teams that, so far, then yes, they're all going to head into conference play. And like I said, I mean, for for Arizona State, I mean, you're looking at that, seeing who teams that obviously you've played that have played. But yeah, I mean, Marta LaVisca now over 100 kills on the season, 113, and Gilly Sear has 112, so just one behind her. And then Roberta Rebello, third on the team. Again, another person you can depend on, 66. So, and Claire Jeter has 44. And Maddie McLaughlin has 43. So, again, a team with 414 kills on the season. And, I mean, yeah, it's just and a team that's got 66 aces so far, and leading the team, look at that, Marta Levinska. So not only getting it done at the net, but getting it done from the service line. So, 21 aces. She's first. And then Mary Schroll is second on the team in aces with 11. So, yeah, you're going to get to meet these players. We're going to meet these players again. season goes on, they have more games, maybe get out to practice and do a live show with them. Just we're gonna have some fun with it. But yeah, no, they are overall, look, 9-0. It is a lot to be excited about. Like I said, you heard some of the opponents they've played, and now, like I said, with coming up, I mean, Memphis right now. Let's see. I will let you know, and I'll remind you throughout the week. But Memphis right now is 3-6. And some other, I mean, they've played, they beat Alcorn State and Samford. They lost to Miami of Ohio, and then lost to, in the Toledo Invitational, then had Virginia Tech, Youngstown State, and Toledo. They lost to Virginia Tech in 3. They lost to Youngstown State in 5, and then lost to Toledo in 4. The Husky Invitational, like I said, they played up in Seattle. They lost to UNLV in 3, to UW in 3, and then to FIU they won in 5. And then now they take on Arizona State, Southern Miss, and then Little Rock. That's the order they have this weekend. So they are 3-6. Southern Miss, they are. What are the Golden Eagles right now? They are 3-5 overall. And then let's see, Little Rock. They are 6-3. 3-5. Sorry, man. Teams love me, and not just Sun Devil teams, giving them more wins. So yeah, they're 3-5. So again, ASU again, but Coach Van Niel, you see teams' records, and you also know, again, it is not rocket science. You see teams' records, and they are not to be overlooked. And if you do, guess what happens? You let your guard down and you lose. So I just, again, look forward to it, and look forward to getting to introduce you to these players, and we'll see who we can have on. Again, maybe a player tomorrow. If they're traveling Wednesday, maybe not. But then once we start conference play, it'll be a little bit easier. And yes, we are grateful for it, and again, working towards it. So I will say this, though. Mary Schroll leading the team in digs, and she's been playing libero, so you would expect that from your libero. She's got 98 on the season, but Shannon Shields is a setter. I mean, again, playing defense. Yes, you want her to have the second touch, but sometimes you don't have that luxury. Shannon Shields second on the team with 68 digs, and then Marta Levinska, again, she's a 6 rotation player for a reason, but she is third on the team. Or no, she's fourth, because I take that back. So Schroll's first at 98. Shields second at 68. Then we have Gilly Sear and Estella Zateca, who are tied for third with 56. And so that would make Levinska fifth, but still 50 digs on the season for somebody that, can dig it, get it to somebody, and get the ball right back for the kill. So, look, this team is exciting. And Olivia Johnson, again, she's getting back into the lineup, a 6'4", 6'5" middle blocker. Good to see her on the court. Again, 2 kills so far, but yes, she has played only in 2 matches. So that is good to see, and we'll talk about that more later. But again, we will meet this team. It'll be very awesome. So I'm going to take one last break. When we get back, we're going to wrap up football with Oklahoma State. They are on to Fresno State, but we will I'll wrap up football after we take a quick quick break, and we'll talk football. All right, back here on Pitchfork Lunch, the National Scouting Combine. Again, for players that might not be getting invited to the NFL Combine, you're draft eligible. Again, check out the National Scouting Combine. It'll be January 8th through 12th, 2024 in Indianapolis. But again, get onto it. Check it out. But yes, I am Michael Caratino at Diablo00. Again, thanks for checking Pitchfork Lunch out live. Also, if you are want to listen, again, we are coming to you live on KSRN, the Casual Sports Radio Network. So go to casualsports.com, KAZUAL, sports with a Z, SPORTZ.com. You'll see up top where it says home. You get the menu. You can look to the right. It says download the app. Once you download the app, you can listen live absolutely anywhere. So, that is a cool part. If you can't watch, you'll be able to listen as I am live on, again, my YouTube channel at MV as in Victor C005. Search me on YouTube and subscribe. Again, you'll be able to watch it all live on Twitter at Diablo00, live on Facebook. So again, there's so many ways to catch Pitchfork Lunch. Enjoy your lunch hour, learning about Sun Devil Nation and seeing what they're doing. But football, yes and no. They had a big game against Oklahoma State, in which they fell short 27-15. They are now 1-1 on the season, is Kenny Dillingham and the Sun Devils, as they were up and they had opportunities in this game. And, you know, they defensively, look, let's start on that side of the ball. There's a lot to get to. Defensively, up front, they are getting it done. Brian Ward, the defensive coordinator, you know, they kind of, I'm not going to say downplay it or whatever, but say it's simple, but these ends are so disciplined. I mean, BJ Green, even against Oklahoma State, had a lot of success living in the backfield. And if you follow me on Twitter at Diablo00, which you should, after the game, I was tweeting about how they didn't have a sack in the first game against Southern Utah, you know, lightning delay, all that good stuff. But Green had 2 sacks. They had 3 sacks on the night. Green had 2 of the 3 of them. Now, the ASU sack record, single season, is held by, of course, the great T-Sizzle, Terrell Suggs. He had 24 in 2002. Now, yes, if Green were to get 2 sacks a game the rest of the way out, which, again, not easy to do. I'm not saying it is easy, because that's why, I mean, 24 for a season is the record. But so going forward, if we were to get 2 a game, he would be at 22. So there would have to be two games in there where he got 3, which, again, now you're floating on borderline insanity. I know. But I put this out there saying if he gets 2, if he's to get 2 a game, he'd be in the neighborhood of Terrell Suggs' single season sack record, which is 24, which is still the FBS record. Caleb Murphy, though, of Ferris State Division II school, last year had 25.5. And yes, he did have a game where he had 6. And but he said he just wanted to break the D2 record, which was at 21. But he broke the NCAA record, but he has a Division II record at 25.5. Terrell Suggs still has the FBS record at 24. I mean, a 2-decade-old record for Terrell Suggs. But for BJ Green, I mean, the way he plays, and you have, Clayton Smith on the other side, the guys in the middle have just been, man, I mean, you have Deshaun Mallory in the middle. I know CJ Fight, the freshman, got in. Tristan Monday. There are guys that are doing their job in the middle. And this Brian Ward defense, again, it is based on getting pressure. And where the defense is at, yes, you can say, well, Oklahoma State scored 27 points. Okay, there was a few short field, and it's not an excuse. Again, Kenny Dillingham went for it on quite a few fourth downs, did convert, but also, missed out on a few. So, but nonetheless, I mean, you can just see the attacking nature and the aggressiveness, but the discipline at the same time of this Brian Ward defense. And Sun Devil Nation, look, this year, again, it might be tough. Can they beat Fresno State and go 2-1? Yes. Is it going to take a very solid effort to overstate the obvious? Yes. But defensively, they're going to punch a lot of people in the mouth. And Clayton Smith, I mean, we saw BJ Green got 2 sacks, but in this Oklahoma State line, I think I said averaged, you talk about some big boys walking out of the locker room. Again, they're just they're not just intimidating getting off the bus. You see them and it's like, wow. But they averaged 6'4", I want to say like 6'4.5" and 308 pounds on the offensive line. Yeah, where's the beef? The beef's up front for Oklahoma State. And look, there are times that defensive line, again, couldn't get in the backfield. But look, BJ Green overall, and I got to credit Brad Denny. We'll have him on too sometime soon, but we'll work on having him on. I can't speak for him, but I would like to work to have him on. He came up with the name BJ Green, Wrecker of Worlds, because he's been doing it all fall camp, and then he gets into games, and you just see that work paying off, the scheme paying off for him. Clayton Smith, again, on the other side too, when they're both out there together, it is just it's not a bad thing. In the secondary, I mean, Chris Edmonds had a heck of a knockdown in the game. And then, again, you have Jordan Clark going all over. Roe Torrance, a little bit of a rough game for Roe, not from the cover standpoint, from the penalty standpoint. He was frustrated a few times, and I can understand why. But, I mean, yeah, again, short-term memory's got to shake him off, even though maybe one of them shouldn't have been called, but what do I know? And, yeah, but that is defensively, look, they're just going to continue to grow. Knock on wood, you stay healthy, you get guys. But just within the system, even the linebackers, I mean, Trey Brown had a heck of a game too. So it's defense. I think they can keep them in a lot of games. Now on the offensive side, look, the offensive line became a mass unit. They were already banged up coming in without some guys playing. And then unfortunately, Emmett Boley left the game. We'll find out more from Kenny Dillingham today. Or we'll find out more from Kenny Dillingham. Sorry, I'm saying today, but throughout the week about, where the O-line is. And, kind of don't say too much, but again, it is a mass unit right now. That is a concern. Jaden Rashad, I don't think he took a step back. I think there were some throws he wished he could have back, but overall ran a really good offense. I love the Wildcat with Cam Scattaboo, the running back, taking direct snaps. He scored a touchdown on one of them. DeCarlos Brooks was his leading blocker, was also in the backfield with him, so that's not too bad. But look, offense went for it on fourth down quite a bit, and they did convert some, like I said. Others, I mean, maybe should have punted just to see. But, again, everybody can always be an armchair coach. I love the aggressiveness from Coach Dillingham. I love the confidence in the defense and the confidence he has in his offense and true freshman quarterback to get the first down. But we'll have more this week. So, again, I'm going to get out of here. Again, follow me on Twitter at Diablo00. Check me out live. Show will be live on Twitter. My Facebook, again, YouTube at MVCM, as in Michael, V as in Victor, C right there on 005 on YouTube. Please go subscribe. And then Casual Sports Radio, go to KAZUAL Sports with a Z, SPORTZ.com. Download the app. You can listen everywhere. So we'll have more football. Lead off with football tomorrow. But yeah, have a great day. Enjoy your Monday. And hey, Sun Devil Nation, as always, forks up.
Terry's three. Johnny Walker matching up against control. His shot. Bruce score. They score. They tie the game up 2-2. Some drives out for Robbie Ryan. Her three right on the money. This is Taya Hansen for three. Other side of the rim with a pretty reverse. Wow. 5 seconds to go. Find Hawk. Hawk spins. It rolls on. And Arizona State wins it. Edward pulls off. And that is a block. Takes the shot for